Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So happy new year, welcome back to the channel. Took a bit of a break for the holidays, but now we're back into it. It is January, February, Nats is literally next month. We are about to hit, high gear on testing and trying to figure out what we're going to play. Now is really getting into the time of just needing to figure out pretty much every deck of the format, and then which ones, have the best chance of being able to beat all the other decks. And that's the big debate right now, is which deck has the best likelihood of being able to beat all other decks, no matter what kind of rogue stuff you might come across, no matter what the most played deck is, which one has the chance of taking it all. So that's what we're here to find out. Now there is also the debate, or just the curiosity of if the next set will be legal or not, since its official release is 1 week before Nats. If there's any sort of slight delay, then instantly it goes out the window and we're using our current format. But in the possibility, I would say that we do use next set of BT11. I think testing against Black War Greymon X is very much needed, trying to figure out where to go. So that's what we did this week. We focused in a little bit more. You know me, I'm a big fan of security control, so I had to just throw my hat in the ring and see how it would fare against Black War Greymon X, and so that was the big thing that I wanted to find out this week. And honestly, this has been the best a counter, I would say. It's sort of a counter. We'll get into it in just a second, but this has the most luck so far against Black War Greymon X has been security control, and it's just purely outlasting them, because just like all these other X antibody decks, they do stupid amounts of draw. Like, their consistency is on a whole nother level, with cards like Cool Boy allowing them to get a search on play for 2 memory, and then every time they evo on top of themselves, they get more draws. So you evo 1, you suspend 3 Cool Boys, you get 3 more draws. Each of those Cool Boys played probably got you another card to hand. I mean, that's just the Cool Boys, let alone the evos are just out of this world of just the draw power is insane in these X antibody decks. So they deck themselves way faster than anything else. And so that's kind of where I was leaning in on this security control build, and less about just trying to have massive bombs in security, and more just trying to stay alive while they mill themselves, basically. So up on the screen is just a slight variation of a deck that we've, seen me run plenty of other times. I did want to try out the Digimon just to see how they would do. And I do have a version that I'm going to show you that I've kind of tiptoed into after this one. But the Digimon is kind of awkward with the Salamon, because you got to promote up, and then, even if your Salamon isn't online to get that recovery, you're just trying to get the Digimon draw power. And so it's kind of awkward there. I definitely like to get full value out of my Salamons, and if I'm going to put them in danger, I want to be able to get that recovery off of them. If not, I'm just going to keep them in raising area until I'm ready. So I really like the Upamons a little bit more. I know you can get a little bit more consistency out of the Digimon, but to do that, you kind of lose a little bit of your recovery, and that's really, really needed, I think, in this, with the mindset that we've got going here. We're trying to mill our opponent and just outlast them. So recovery is huge. Of course, we got our Magnas. I've got the 3 May Crack in here, simply because we need a purple level 5, because one of the things I was wanted to start testing a little bit more was running in the Megidramon. So this was kind of a flex spot for this build here, but moving ahead, I definitely want to work in the Megidramon for that extra little bit of Evo on top of a purple. It's nice with the Ophanimon, because you get both of Ophanimon's abilities here, which is kind of rare. With the old builds and stuff, you'd never get the purple, you'd only get the yellow. But now with the May Crack, it makes Ophani a little bit better. Venus still super strong. This one right here, we were running originally just the Memory Fixer Kari, because we do a ton of recovery in this. We really do. Between the Magnas being cycled multiple times, with the Flame Hell Size, and then the Holy Waves, the reinforcing memory boost, we do a ton of recovery. So it really made sense to run that. But the TK and Kari, the thing I like about them is I can just slam them out while me and my opponent are dead even. And it makes my opponent step back and think a little bit, maybe I shouldn't swing in. I could get some chip damage in with this rookie that has no significance. oh, but that means their TK and Kari are going to start giving them bonus memory. Well, I don't want that to happen, so I'll just hold this guy here on the field for like a turn or two. And then when your opponent does stuff like that, they open themselves up for like board removal cards. So stuff like Schwartz that can, nuke multiple bodies at one time is really nice for that, as well as just, again, stalling our opponent out for as long as possible before they go in on the big hits is really, really strong. Allows us to get multiple Karis online, so by the time they do start swinging in, a couple Karis on field, and they're super slowing down with that. The Mimi is making all of our options super cheap. Now, we do have a bunch of bombs in this one with the Chaos Aggregation and the Lone Key here, the Holy Waves, of course, the Schwartz. I'm a big fan of Schwartz, particularly against the Metal matchup. Metal Garurumon is so devastating, but it gets like 3 of its security checks off of its level 5s, so it really likes to swing in there with those early checks. And it might even be more than that, right? Because they swing in with the first one, they Evo into the X antibody, and then it swings, and they get 2 more checks, and then yeah, so that three checks there, because they're going to get the security attack +1. So yeah, they do a ton of checks just off of the level 5s, and Schwartz being able to pop any level 5, super strong. So big fan of it. And then of course our ringers in here, the Death X for those matchups where you need it, and the Avenged Kid for the mirror matchup, just to be able to keep recycling your own options back in there is super needed. A build that I've kind of looked at needing to go into next, just a slight variation, was dropping the Schwartz and adding in the Megidramon, as well as going full power on the Upas, just because I ended up preferring the Upas more for the Salamons, in the mindset of just trying to survive until I can mill my opponent. And that's what the big thing on this one was, though. It's just survive, keep recovering just as much as possible, force them to take a long time to beat you, and when they do that, they mill so much, and then you just Flame Hell Scythe for 3, use the Mimis to keep it on your turn, and then slam down the Megidramon on top of the Maycrack, make them mill 5 extra out of nowhere that they weren't planning on, and boom, that's instant victory. Pass turn, they have no cards left in deck that they didn't see coming, and you just win. And it's really cheeky, but I'm a big fan of it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, particularly against trying to throw this against Black War Greymon X. That was like a big part of it. I don't know if this would be the build I would take in the current format or not. More testing to just kind of see how it is. It does have a good, solid standing, I think, with what we're seeing a lot of right now. So it's been doing really well. But what I would really prefer to run is this. Now, you'll notice this little critter here doesn't exist for us English players yet. This is the Harrismon, the security rookie that we all want to see. We all want security rookies, everyone wants one of them, right? For me, it's the Harrismon security attack -1 on one of my opponent's Digimon, then add this to hand, and I can Evo this in raising area, promote it up, and then immediately use tactical retreat for 1, throw it back into security, and I just keep cycling it, right? That gets hit, I security attack -something, so essentially that's 2 security I'm basically making my opponent have to deal with off of like 1 memory, off of 1 tactical retreat, 1 memory cost tactical retreat, and I can get 2 blocks. I mean, a Holy Wave for 6 can only stop 1, like that's how good that is. And then tactical retreat also having the same, the recovery 1, like Holy Wave does in security. Stupid strong. Now, to do this sort of cycling and to work in the tactical retreats, I did cut down on our removal a little bit, just a smidge. Took 1 of each of these guys down, but trying to. Not our Flame Hell Scythe. Flame Hell Scythe is a must. You got to have max of that, max Magna Germons, that sort of thing. But yeah, some of our other stuff we did take down just slightly 1-ofs to work in 3 tactical retreats to be able to get that loop going, as well as I did cut down on the Maycrack a little bit by 1. But the stall power in this is just absolutely stupid. Very unfair. I mean, once Harrismon comes out, I'll definitely be back on this, whether there is a hit on the ban list or not for some of these other decks out there. We'll just have to see. Now, I do have a clip from our testing this week that I want to show you guys of going against Black War Greymon X and seeing just how this works out, and just the overall intent of the deck and what our ideal situation of going against Black War Greymon X would look like. So go ahead and show our testing here. We've got the 2K plus Agumon going on top of that Koromon, and there we see that Cool Boy immediately. Now it does whiff here, so it doesn't get the many extra cards immediately. Here we see the Upamon and the Salamon coming down on top of it there, getting a little extra draw, and there's that early game TK Kari like I was talking about. This is that point where they don't, right here, they're debating, oh, do I swing in, give them all that bonus extra memory? Ooh, maybe not, maybe I'll just do this, put them to 1, pass turn. And again, this is just testing, so like letting him take that back. We're trying to make as optimal plays as possible for testing to make sure that in an ideal situation that these are the ways, the cards to play. So playing out the Maycrack here, ditching the Lone Key. Here we're going to see that Agumon X come down, so he's going to get a draw for the Evo, draw for the Cool Boy, a memory gain, and then a dig, right, off the Agumon. Going to grab the Greymon here, and again, just thinning out his deck super fast. Like, for Greymon, like, absolutely, like, busted. Super, super good. Seeing how good Greymon X is. And then just Evo here for 4. Not exactly ideal. Probably would have preferred the X Antibody -2. And then, yeah, so... Metal Greymon X here, deleting 6k or less is huge against this matchup in particular, because look at all this that we have. All of our level 5s are 6,000 DP or less. So used to, our level 5s would be safe, but not against Metal Greymon X. So here, going to search out with another Agumon here, going to grab a Metal Greymon, just getting super, super powerful consistency. And again, there's that Cool Boy, going to draw 2, gain a memory, and then dig. Gonna pick up the scary boy there, Black War Greymon X. He's got the X antibody, so he can very easily go into it right now if he wants. Now our security is higher than his, so it's kind of like a bait. Like, hey, I'm gonna play this card and bait out your big guy, right? I want you to Evo into your big guy. I know you're gonna get a check and a trash for free when he unsuspends during my turn. But that's okay, because, you know, I've got big removal options in my hand that I'm totally prepared for clearing him off the field with. But he is kind of being a little cautious here. He's going into a second stack. So then there's that 2 Evo Metal Greymon. Nothing to delete here, though. No rookies. Nothing to Digivolve. And there we see the Black War Greymon X there, Evoing for 5. Mid-swing with that X antibody option. Hits into the Flame Hellscythe here. Just gets us to play out the Maycrack for free, which is okay in this situation, just because it's going to get deleted here. Does hit the Schwartz, which is very unfortunate, because that would have been a nice hit. And gets that free pop the Maycrack. I always try to get my Magna Angemons in security as fast as possible, just because I always seem like I've got Flame Hellscythes like top 2 of my security all the time. Here we are, and remembering the TK Kari, because our memory is less. And then just going to play that Chaos Degradation, put it to the bottom, and then trash the top. And there goes 1 big stack, putting them to 2. So it's not like they have a ton of memory to work with. They could go into a second. Now, what also really defines these is the X antibody option as well. So passing it to us, then we're going to go ahead and go into an Ophanimon here, just to pass turn, get that another bit of recovery. Go into another Agumon X, again digging more, using the Cool Boy, cycling through their deck, having all the consistency boosters in the world. Goes into the Metal Greymon X, protects against DP reduction. Really need the option card, though, to get the good protection. Goes into the Black War Greymon now, pops the TK Kari, so even if he does lower our security this time around, we're not going to get any more bonus, which is, you know, very, very good for them. So here we're going to see the Black War Greymon swinging in, choosing not to use the X antibody option because he wants that unsuspend effect. And very good timing, too, because we have nothing in raising area there to bring back with the Ophanimon. And now he's going to swing a second time, now using the X antibody option to Digivolve into the Black War Greymon X. Just hitting into a Holy Wave here, so nothing too dangerous. And then Evoing for 1 into the Greymon. Unsuspend, trash top card of security. It is a purple Kari, which is very, very brutal because having no purples on field is super, super annoying in a deck that has lots of dual color purple yellows. So you got to be really cautious on what you play and when you play it against this deck, because if they're starting to use those Black Hole Greymons to pop your purple Tamers, it's super rough times. So here, just playing a Magnet Angemon is our only choice. Not the best, but again, not having those purples, those purple Tamers getting put on field, definitely a big bummer here. I would almost consider it kind of bricking and not seeing any purple Tamers to be able to play out at this point, you know. All right, so evoing essentially for free here because of the Cool Boy. So evo for 1, gain 1, back off Cool Boy, delete a 6,000 DP or less. Again, very, very frustrating. Black War Greymon X swinging in just to get another recovery off of another Holy Wave. Very nice. So we're just kind of keeping them at bay. And that's really the trick here, is to just keep them burning through resources. Keep them drawing and drawing and drawing. Like Black War Greymon, here it comes down. There's nothing to pop. There's nothing on field for the pop. Oh, well, we finally got a Mimi on board. So we got a purple Tamer, which is really solid. And this hurts, though. Double unsuspend here. Trashing 2. Hits into a Kari. Would really like to see that Kari on field here. Again, now we got to be super cautious on what do we do, because this is our only yellow source. Now, if we waste our Salamon, this could be a detriment because we're going to lose our ability to play yellow option cards. It would be nice to swing in here and get that recovery for hitting something in security, but then we can't play anything yellow. So I am going to choose to instead not promote it. Same as they did in the beginnings there. You don't want to get too jumpy there. That's why it's important to think things out before you just promote up randomly without actually thinking about it. And then here, looking at what we got to choose, throwing in the Schwartz here. We've already got the Mimi in play for our purple. This is going to force the Agumon to swing first here. They're not going to want to Digivolve on top of it or anything like that. And then, boom, hits into the Chaos Degradation, putting it to the bottom of security there. On that second one, has no protection. Hasn't seen the Black Tamer this game yet. He might not be in this build. I can't remember. And then just hard playing there. Drawing again. I will also, and so he's going to unsuspend, trash the last card in security. He was also saying that, you know, he's not too sure of the matchup yet, and definitely should have been hard playing a couple more, like especially here at the end, cycling. So here we do promote up that Salamon, get that recovery to keep ourselves at 1, pop the reinforcing, and that is an illegal lone key there that I just noticed. There's no purple sources or yellow sources on field. Whoops. So that kind of throws this match out the window there, because that's huge, absolutely huge. Because it was either a recovery or a body clear there. So definitely would have probably changed the outcome of this match then. But yeah, decides to scoop it up there. But yeah, that's actually pretty huge of a misplay that I just now caught. If we back it up a little bit to right before that. Yeah, so having this on field, it's either swing and get the recovery, or we pop the memory boost, gain, use the lone key, which is only going to clear 1 body, and then the Greymon could just swing for game. So yeah, I don't know what other alternative choices there was there, but that is a massive misplay that I just now caught mid-recording here. But yeah, but that's the general idea though, is to just burn them through resources, keep cycling. Now, in theory, we should have saw a second Salamon at some point by now in the deck. I think we were like, it was like 2/3 of the way through our deck, and we still had only seen 1 Salamon. I mean, like, that's how it is. We did get some lucky hits with a couple Holy Waves being in security, but not seeing any more Salamons is kind of frustrating as well. Because we could have promoted that one up way earlier in the match and got a second one in rotation. Yeah, because we only saw that one the whole game there. But they did scoop it up after that. And then if you want to see the full match, though, I'll have it later this week so you can actually see all 3 games of how they played out, because it was a 3-game match, which is really what you like to see there. And see how it unfolds. But that is going to do it for this week. We're going to try to get the mirror match in hopefully next week. This week we're going to go back to some EX3 testing. I think I'm going to try some Red Hybrid out. I know Mario's a big fan of like Ancient Greymon, and I do like that deck a lot. I played it last January, funny enough, for a bit of time. So I think I'm going to go back and play a bit of that. I think I need to play Grandis, though. I think Grandis against Black Hole Greymon X is going to be a much-needed test, so I'll probably go ahead and build that as well. So we'll do the mirror match Black Hole Greymon X's, and then I'm going to do Grandis against it. Now, if you got any other ideas for EX3 on where to go for EX3, definitely let me know in the comments of, you know, what's your go-to? What do you think is going to be, like, the deck to play? We do a ton of, like, a big fan favorite, of course, is the Metal Garurumon X as a, like, just a good blanket, you know, take care of everything. But I feel like there's got to be something else out there as well that has that nice blanket, can handle any deck sort of situation. Like there are a couple decks that hard counter it, like Security Control definitely hard counters it. But I think that's really about the only thing that hard counters Metal Garurumon X. But it handles everything else really nicely. Whereas Security Control also has its bad matchups, you know, for sure. So just still trying to figure out this meta. I don't think there is figuring it out. It's a very diverse meta. There is no right call. It's going to very much come down to, well, what do you end up playing? If I play Security Control and I go against Metal Garurumon all day, then, you know, it's a cakewalk. But if I get those oddball matchups where it's not, then I'm going to be in some serious trouble. So I don't know. I still don't know what to take. Like, I'm leaning into Security Control, but there's still so much unanswered questions of what we need to play.